Yo, 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 what's up, my people? Welcome to Psychological Sundays. I'm your host, Dr. Scottage, and we're gonna get down to business. I'll just get started. So on my screen here, I just have an image. I'll just go over a few different images today that I thought would be relevant. But this is one here that says "Think Different." Has Martin Luther King, John Lennon, Steve Jobs, and Einstein on it. And all of these people stand out for being incredible individuals because they didn't follow the herd. They thought differently, and they realized that it's their thinking that leads to everything else. Steve Jobs here, he created the iPhone, he created the iPod, he created a whole bunch of amazing stuff, and he didn't even know how to build those things himself. But he knew how to think of those ideas and then get the right people around him to build those things. So one of his main quotes was when he was a child, his parents told him, "This is the way that the world is. This is all the stuff around us, and your job is to just follow along in the world and stay inside the box and just get a job and live like everyone else." But then he was empowered when he realized the world that he sees around him was created by people like him and mostly by people that were no smarter than him. So he realized he could use his thinking to create his own world and to create a world for other people that could be different. So down here, this is just the image. These are both, this image here, this is my background on my computer. And this is what used to be my background on my computer. If you trade like most other traders do, you will get the results most other traders get, which is a 90% losing rate. To win consistently, you must think different, see the charts different, and take the opposite action that most other traders take. And it's not necessarily that 90% of people don't have a winning strategy. A lot of people have a winning strategy. A lot of the YouTube videos, a lot of the different content out there, those are profitable strategies. But the people find a way to jeopardize it. The people find a way to make it unprofitable. The people find a way to, when the strategy is encountering some of the inevitable losses, they find a way to change the strategy, or they find a way to start over risking, or they're doing something to give them such a high losing rate. Because like some of these people, the amount that they're losing, it's like it's really like you have to try and lose that much almost, right? If you stick to a strategy with 50%, you wouldn't even lose that much. So you can tell that it's nothing to do with the strategy. It's usually what they're doing to the strategy. Like there's some people that think it's acceptable on a 50K account, which you get $2,000 drawdown. They think it's acceptable to risk $500 or $1,000 per trade. You only get $2,000 in drawdown. And some of them will think, "Oh, it's only 2% of my account." No, it's not. It can be 25% of your account or 50% of your account. It's not going to work. If your strategy encounters losses, like even with the Kanos group, we have a really, really great strategy, a really solid entry model, but it encounters losses. The win rate is, or the risk to reward is so high that you're going to have to encounter some losses before you get a few 1 to 10s. So if you over leverage, you're not going to be able to sustain through the inevitable losses that you need to take before the group of winning trades comes. So a lot of people, the problem is just really over risking and not following the plan. They have a plan, they write it down, it's the weekend, they're like, "All right, Monday comes, this is exactly what I'm going to do." And then Monday comes, they take a loss or two, they start feeling a certain type of way, and they start changing up their plan, and they start doing some borderline random things. So I'll just show you this part down here. This is the trading journey before profitability. So this guy gets on his bike or chart in the morning, does something stupid, like puts this stick in his wheel, bails and smashes himself on the ground and says, "Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep losing?" And this is basically it. So this is what people do with trading. They get in and they get on their bike or they get on the chart and they go to ride for the day, and then they do something like jam a stick in the wheel. This is over risking. This is taking B, C, or D setups. This is entering because you think you know the market will go up from here. This is the the market always, especially this one, entering because you think the market will go up from here. Even the bad setups, the market prints them on the chart with candles that look like they're good setups to entice people to get in. They have to make even the bad setups look like good setups, or nobody's going to get in. So the road to success is always under construction, but don't make it rougher than it needs to be. You must have a simple but detailed plan for entry and stick to that plan 110% to attain success. This is the most important part. I thought in the early days that I needed a success rate of 80%. I thought that I needed like the best strategy in the world, like a no lose strategy. I didn't realize that all I needed was a plan that won like 40, 50, or 60% of the time and gave me at least a 1 to 2 risk reward. And I had to follow that plan 110%, even when I was encountering the losses. The main thing is to stick to your plan even when you're encountering the losses, because once you're through the losses, then you're due for the wins. If you just quit after there's some losses, you're quitting that or adjusting that strategy right before the wins were going to come. So like I said, the road to success is always under construction. It's already a rough road, but don't make it rougher than it needs to be. Make yourself a simple plan but detailed, and stick to that plan 110%. This is what all of the business people are doing. This is what every company that you buy products from, this is what they're doing. If you buy, I don't know, toothpaste from Colgate, their factory makes the same toothpaste in the same way with the same ingredients at the same cost in the same tubes, and they just do it over and over and over again. So this here says decide what kind of life you really want and then say no to everything that isn't that. This is really what makes the difference, is that you have to say no. Trading is mostly a game of saying no to this setup, saying no to that setup, saying no to this time frame, saying no to that currency, saying no to trade in this news candle. Say no, 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 no. Stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out until the A plus setup comes or the A setup comes, and then you take that one. You have to say no to everything that isn't the trade that you want or that isn't the life that you want. A lot of people, I've used this example before, but a lot of people say they want trades that are 1 to 10. They want trades that are 1 to 20. Akano wants trades that are 1 to 20. Akano wants trades that are 1 to 10. Some people say they want trades that are 1 to 10, but then as soon as the trade goes 1 to 2 in profit, they close it. And then they still say, oh yeah, I want 1 to 10. No, you wanted 1 to 2. That's why you closed it. You took it because that's what you wanted. Akano's keeping it open because he wants 1 to 10. And he has the belief and faith that it can go to 1 to 10. But some people don't have the belief and faith that it will go to 1 to 10, so they close it early. And then they keep fooling themselves, believing that somehow they're going to get higher risk return. It's like, well, how are you going to get higher risk return if you exit the trade so early? Some people will look back at a trade later on in the day and say, man, if I had held that trade all day. What do you mean if you had held that trade all day? If you can't hold a trade through one pullback, how are you going to hold a trade all day through 10 pullbacks? How? It's impossible. It's completely impossible. You have to switch your thinking to, okay, I'm going to get in and I'm going to have to sustain through all these pullbacks in order to get a higher risk return. And then when the pullbacks happen, which are inevitable, you're fine with sitting through them. But since you get in a trade and you want quick money, you want guaranteed $100, you'll just get in, it will go up, it will pull back a bit, and you'll exit and get scared. But you have to switch your mindset. You have to be prepared for the situation as it unfolds. So this is really important, is to not just have your plan like an entry criteria, but have your plan with things in it like when a pullback happens, what am I going to do? Am I going to get scared and exit? Am I going to add on? Am I going to go break even? Am I going to hold? What am I going to do? Because if you're not prepared for the situations that are going to come up in the next week. You're going to continue to be like the guy who sticks the stick in his bike tire and just keeps smashing his face on the ground. You have to really, really be prepared for every situation and how it unfolds and say no to everything that isn't your A plus setup. I'm just going to read something that I have written down on the phone here. So I just wrote this down so I didn't forget it. I'll just read it out loud. So what people don't realize is that the market has converted most traders' brains into the brains of gambling addicts who just want to strike it rich, fast, and with little effort. So what happens is even though you have an intended plan, while you're sitting there watching the chart, waiting for a good trade setup to come, you don't realize that you're waiting in a room full of low-quality, risky gambling setups. Those setups have been designed to look promising, but are just put there to tap into your gambler mind and lure you in. Some people even think they're trading good setups and can't understand why they keep losing. But in fact, they're trading bad setups. Bad setups that have been made to look like good setups, because even bad setups have to look good to entice people. You'll notice this a lot if you're trying to trade reversals. The market will keep popping up and looking like it. The market will keep popping up and trades will keep showing up that look good and make it look like the market is going to flip. But then in a few minutes, the reversal setup fails. And again, the market keeps running. Then it drops down a bit, looks like it's going to reverse again, lures more people in, and then flips and keeps running. And it keeps on doing this to people. So it has to keep presenting a divergence or has to keep presenting some sort of engulfing pattern. It has to keep doing something to lure people in and make it look like a good, promising setup when in fact it's just a lure trying to bait people in. All right, let's go down here. So this is a story about the. Whoa. Can you mute that person, patient? Whoever's making the noise. Thank you. Let's go here. I'm just gonna see if there's anything in the chat because I don't have it open. Yeah. So now I'll just read to you a story of the Chinese farmer. So there once was an ancient Chinese farmer who owned a horse. His neighbors used to say to him, "You're so lucky to have a horse to pull your cart and do your farming for you." The farmer replied, "Maybe." One day the farmer didn't close his gate properly and the horse ran away. "Oh no," the neighbor said, "that's terrible news. Such bad luck, your horse ran away." "Maybe," the farmer replied. A few days later, the horse returned, bringing with it 6 other horses, wild horses. The neighbor said, "How lucky you are! How fantastic! Your horse came back with other horses for free." "Maybe," the farmer replied. The following week, the farmer's son was out on one of the horses, and the horse threw him on the ground and the son broke his leg. "Oh no," the neighbor said, "such bad luck." Again, the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, soldiers came to the house, and they were taking all the young men in the neighborhood away to fight in the war. But the farmer's son was left behind. Since he had a broken leg, the military did not want him. "Wow," the neighbor said, "you're so lucky. The military didn't take your son." "Maybe," the farmer said. When we interpret situations as opportunities or disasters, when we judge everything as good or bad, it shapes the way that we respond. But this farmer situation shows that we can never truly know how a situation is going to turn out. There is no good or bad. There is no threat or fantastic thing. There is only what happens and how we choose to respond to it. It's all in our thinking and how we respond to the situation. It doesn't make sense to even think as things are it's good or bad because they're not good or bad. They're mostly all just neutral. Some people will wake up and say it's raining, and some people will say, "Oh, what a terrible day! It's raining outside." And then someone else who has plants in the ground will say, "Wow, what a great day! It's raining outside." So it's not the rain, it's the individual. And this is exactly an analogy for trading is that someone will have a win and they'll be so elated and say that it's amazing, and someone will have a loss and say that it's terrible. But both are just part of a group of trades working out. They're neither good nor bad. They're just trades working out. So you can see here. This is why I look at everything in groups of 10 trades or 20 trades because I don't know which trades are going to be the wins and which trades are going to be the losses. I don't really even care which trades are going to be the wins and which ones are going to be the losses. But I know if I just keep showing up and sticking to the plan, I'm going to have some wins and I'm going to have some losses. And if I keep doing the exact same thing, my results are going to be true and the wins are going to outwin the losses. So yeah, I don't really say, oh, a loss is bad and a win is good. Sometimes you can have a loss and it can teach you something, and that thing can pay you 100 times into the future. So was that loss bad? No. You could say that loss was good because it taught you something. And sometimes you could have a win. Maybe you had a win and you won $2,000, and then you use that $2,000 to buy something, and that thing injured you. Well, now is that win good? I guess not really, because you bought something that ended up hurting you. So it's silly to think good or bad or positive or negative about any of this stuff, even though it's triggering your emotions, because it's just your perspective that's making it appear good or bad. The the thing that really helped me is keeping track of everything in groups of 10 and 20 and not getting too attached to the outcome of any single trade. Because whenever I do that, it ends up being a boom and bust cycle, and I'm on an emotional roller coaster that I really don't want to be on. I never I never know whether a trade's going to be a win or a loss. So before the trade, all I care about is, okay, what's my plan to enter? And okay, how much am I going to risk? And which one of my accounts am I going to use to trade this setup? I'm only focused on the actual process. The outcomes will take care of themselves. I don't really care about the outcomes because I know if I follow the process, the outcome will keep taking care of itself. Once you start to find any success and profitability, you know that that success came from following your rules. And then you'll get more stoked than ever to follow your rules. And all you'll want to do is follow your rules. This is what I was telling Jared, because Jared recently made a post that said he had his first profitable month. And I told him, like, when you start to realize that your profitability comes from following your rules, all you want to do is follow your rules. You won't want to do any of the random things anymore. And you'll want to follow your rules more and maybe tighten up your rules. Some people, when they find profitability, like, or even they'll have a few wins in a row, like maybe they have 2 wins in a row, then they'll feel like they're the king of the world and they can do whatever. And oh, I know what's going down now. I got this all figured out. And now they think they can just trade any setup or uh, anything that's happening on the chart, and they'll start getting into low quality setups and losing again. So I don't ever think that I'm the king of the world or that I have an amazing mind for trading, nothing like that. I just know my process makes me money. So I just stick to the process. I'm not trying to build myself up. I'm not trying to build my ego. I'm not trying to look good. I'm not trying to post awesome screenshots. None of that stuff. I'm just showing up every week, sticking to my plan and sticking to my process, and it's giving me results. I know that for example, I'm with the Kano in the NQ Legacy group. I know that right now on the 15-second chart with the setup we have, I'm not the sniper that I have the potential to be. I've only been trading the 15-second chart for a few months. I've only been trading this setup for a few months. I have another strategy that I use that's profitable. So I have 2 separate accounts. One for a Kano, well, I have multiple accounts, but in this example, I'll just use 2 of them. I have one account for what I'm already doing that's successful, and I have another account that I'm doing the NQ Legacy trades on, because I know if I use them both on the same account, my results won't be accurate. So since I have a separate account, I can just trade the NQ legacy trades on that account and continue to uh, develop on the 15-second chart and develop as that kind of trader and grow that account at the rate that it needs to grow at. Each each time I take one of those trades, I'm trying to document and screenshot what happened. Why did we get in? Why did we get out? Why, like, if we miss trades, it's like, well, why did we miss that one? What could we have done to get in? What would have been a better entry on one that we lose? What would have been um, an A plus setup instead of an A setup? So I'm really I'm really keeping my things separate because I have a strategy and an account for one thing, and I see that as one business. Like it's a totally different business. And I see the NQ legacy as a different business I'm running. So it has its own account, its own strategy, its own process. And so I know if I keep sticking to that process and tightening up that process, that business is going to be wildly profitable. It's already profitable now. But if I keep sticking to it and refining it and improving it, it's going to be way, way more profitable. And so this is the main thing that everybody needs to do is see a strategy and a process and an account as its own business. And it's not you just coming up with random ideas and you trading what you want and what you feel like. It's a business. McDonald's doesn't just show up and make whatever they feel like and charge whatever they feel like. They have a process that can make them millions of dollars. So they know if we just if we just show up and stick to this process, we can find lots of success. And if we can tighten up this process and improve the efficiency of this process, we can make a lot more money. So that's why I keep telling everyone you need to think of this as a business. It's not just you anymore. In the beginning, you think it's you and your ideas and stuff like that. But once you find success, and you realize that the success is from the process you follow, you can take yourself out of the equation. You can just wait, 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 wait. Be patient, be patient, be patient. In poker, they say fold, 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 fold until the right opportunity comes in front of you. And then you have the chips to capitalize on that opportunity. So, yeah, this is basically what I was sharing with Jared is that he's now seeing his first profitable month, and it's because he had a specific criteria to follow, and when he followed that, it ended up giving him money. So I said it's like you'll start to realize you're an alchemist. Like you can convert ideas on a piece of paper into money in your bank account, and then you realize, wow, when I follow my rules on this piece of paper, money appears in my bank account as if by magic, and when I do some random thing, money disappears from my account. So all you'll want to do, all your brain will want to do is start following that plan. But even if you find profitability with no defined plan, it will still feel like a very stressful endeavor. Your trading journey will still feel very rocky because you never truly know if the next one will work out because um, you don't have it defined like a business. So that's how I'm getting rid of most of my emotions. And in fact, most of the trades I don't really care whether it wins or loses because I know that next week I'm going to have some wins and I'm going to have some losses, but I'm going to make money because my risk reward and my win rate makes sure I make money as long as I follow my process. So people think they need to work on their psychology and stuff like that. But the truth is, if you have a very defined plan that has an edge, and you stick to that plan, it will remove a lot of your psychology. So you'll realize there's not actually as much to fix as you think. The only reason you think you need to fix something is because you're essentially doing random things that are costing you money. And you're never going to feel secure and confident when you're trading random setups. But it's the gambler part of your brain that thinks this one could work out, and yeah, it could, but it's not a very good plan to be trading stuff because you think it could work out. Usually in the end, it's going to just fail, and it's things aren't failing to hurt you. Nothing's attacking you. The universe isn't against you. God's not working against you. It's nothing like that. It's things don't work out because they're trying to get you to adjust something to find success. When something's not good, it's a red flag. It's something waving its arms saying, "Don't go this way." It's trying to tell you, "Don't go this way. It's not worth it for you." So, it gives you a failure so that you keep finding the perfect road. But it's up to you to change. Like, and some people say, everything happens in God's time or something like that. And I get that. I get what they're saying. But the truth is, the universe gave you the ability to change. You can change at any time. So, yeah, you could say, oh, it's in divine timing, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I get that. But you can change at any time. When you find success, you'll realize, oh, geez, I could have done this a long time ago, but it was me sticking a stick in the bike tire and I kept making myself smash my face on the ground. But I could have changed at any time. So a lot of people think that they need a better strategy, they need more information. No, they don't. They probably have a strategy. They probably learned 50 strategies. At this point, they probably have a strategy that can work. They probably have a strategy that has a positive risk to return, but they just keep getting in the way and finding a way to turn it into a losing strategy. So I challenge everybody in the coming week, write your plan down. This is what I've been saying every Sunday session. Write your plan down or figure out exactly what you want to do. Not these random things that might have a chance of working out. This thing in your heart, this thing in your soul that you know, if I stick to this style, this strategy, this plan, this will make me money. Write that down. Stick to that and let the losses come and let the wins come. And then once you see the money roll in from it, all you want to do is stick to that one plan. You won't want to add any of this other stuff. You won't want to shoot at these random trades. It's, yeah, it will change your brain. Once you see success roll in from following one plan, you'll just want to follow that plan. I'm a lot of times I'm not watching the smaller time frame because I know if I just sit there and watch the smaller time frame, it can keep triggering my emotions and trying to entice me to jump into trades that aren't that good. So I choose to watch on the higher time frames, the 15-minute and above, the 10-minute and above, the 45-minute. I choose to just watch these and set alerts on my chart, and then when price gets to that area, when the alert goes off in trading view, then I can go down the smaller time frame and look for an entry. So that might help some of you guys too. I know some of you want to stay watching the 15-second and the 1 minute, but like Drew said, if you're taking a whole bunch of trades, it's probably not going to work out for you. A lot of people are taking too many trades. That's just the end of it. They they're taking too many trades. It's the same as poker. People are playing way too many hands. There's only a limited amount of hands in poker that have a positive expected value or positive risk to return. But then people want to play poker and want to play every hand and think they're some kind of pro. It's like until you're really good at poker, you should narrow your range to the best hands. And that's all trading is. Just narrow your range to the one hand that works best for you and keep doing that over and over. Some of the big traders, like I'm talking the multi-million dollar traders, guys that are trading like $1 million plus per trade, hedge fund guys and stuff like that, they're only trading their one thing, their one entry criteria. That's it. They're only trading a few times a year or a few times a month, but they're only trading their one thing. They're just waiting. Some people are waiting 3 weeks for something to happen. I saw one guy, he just took a trade. He's been waiting like 6 months for that trade to happen. So even when you see the screenshot that Drew shared the other day, I said to everybody in the group, take note of this screenshot, guys, because Drew's sharing with you a trade of his that worked out that's on the 1 hour, and he entered on the 1 minute, right? So if he's trading the 1 hour and he knows a lot about trading and he's really good, but other people think they can just trade the 1 minute, it's not going to work for you. You'd be better to just watch the higher time frames or try and trade the setup from the higher time frame and snipe your entry on the lower time frame. So just wait till it gets to a higher time frame key level and get down to the smaller time frame. We noticed in the past, actually, if we took our entry criteria in a 15-minute or higher fair value gap, that um, our win rate increased dramatically because when you enter from a fair value gap, you're essentially trading with the momentum that's already going. If you're trading a fair value gap, you're trading with the trend that's already prevailing. But when you're trying to trade a complete reversal, it can become a lot harder to time that properly, and you can all of a sudden have to deal with a lot of losses before you're correct. So that might help you guys too, is no matter what your entry criteria is, if you drop down to the smaller time frames when you're in a higher time frame fair value gap and only trade from there, you'll probably see your win rate increase. Yeah, but that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. Did any of you guys have questions or anything? I know this was kind of a smash day, but he obviously wasn't able to make it. Yeah, Rick, for sure. Hmm. 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 Yeah, exactly. It makes a big difference, eh? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. See, that's exactly it. When you try to just stay on the smaller time frame, you'll be in an area that's totally against you and just have no idea. Yeah, and that's the key. And that's last week I was sharing with people, use TradingView like your assistant. Go on a higher time frame, find an area, set an alert, and wait for TradingView to tell you, hey bro, now's the time to look at the chart. If you can set alerts, like this thing can be your assistant and tell you when you're in the higher time frame area, just set the alert and chill until it tells you to look for an entry. But yeah, now that you see something work out better for you, just really take note of that and keep adding that to your plays. Okay, first I do this, then I do this, then I do that. And as you start to get money coming in from that, then your brain will really be like, fuck it, we're not doing anything except this. Yeah, I'm stoked for you, Rick, because you have huge potential, and your trades and your concepts are already very good. And if you can just add stuff like that to keep yourself out of shitty areas, you're gonna be well on your way. Because, like you see, it's not necessarily about more trades or anything. It's just staying out of ones that have really no potential of getting to your take profit. Yeah, guys. Anyone else want to say anything or have questions?
No, thank you, bro.
Yeah, much
Beautiful.
love, brother. Yeah, thank
Beautiful.
you. Thank you. We're so stoked to have you back, bro.
Thank you so much, man. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Can't
Akano,
wait
my
for next
boy.
week, man. Can't wait for next
Yeah.
week. Mm.
Woo. Yep.
Initially, today was planned to have Smash Share talk as well, and you guys ask questions. But I've been reaching out to him today like 4 times. He hasn't answered me, so yeah, kind of sucks.
Smashmore likes to jump on and do it at a random time. It seems like he'll probably come on for a Q&A random on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
It would be like 7 hours from now, like 2 a.m. his time. He jumps
Yeah, yeah,
behind and tags everyone I'm in now.
yeah.
That's the typical him.
That's too
Yeah,
late, bro.
I know. Yeah, too late.
I talked with him as well to ask what time suits him. He said this time. I said okay, but I mean, can't do anything about it really.
Nope.
I'm not going to South Africa.
But yeah, I hope I gave you guys some value today. And yeah, just really refine your plan and start sticking to that, and you'll start to see the success roll in, and you'll stop caring so much about the losses. They'll hurt a bit, but you won't really care as much because you'll know when I have 20 trades, if I have 100 trades, I'm going to have a good handful of losses in there. And I don't know which ones are going to win, which ones are going to lose. So who gives a shit about them? Just let them play out. Oh, we got Damo typing. OG Damo, my boy. Yeah, we're also fortunate to be in a position where Verse has organized things so that first Kinzo created a group and we could all find that, and then Smash created a group from Kinzo's group, and we all were able to come over here um, and share wisdom and inspiration with each other. Like we're all very very fortunate and very we've been positioned very opportune how can I say this? We've been positioned for success. It's just up to us to not do anything to jeopardize that, and to get very clear and defined with what we need to do, and in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 15 weeks, to not do anything outside of that to jeopardize it. If your future and your family is depending on it, you got to stick to your plan no matter what. You can't, there's no opportunity anymore to do anything random. Yeah, you're very welcome, Damo. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm just gonna log off here now. If anyone has any questions or anything throughout the week, you can always reach out to me. And
Thank you
yeah,
so much, bro. That was
yeah, much
awesome.
love, guys.
Thank you, man. Have a good
Thank you,
one,
bro.
guys.
Thank you. Yeah. Woo!
Wow.
Woo!